All right, you guys ready? And this is called The Shot Podcast.
The Shot Podcast.
Yeah, The Shot. So that was the intro. That was it. The Shot Podcast. Thank you very much. We're out. All right, welcome to another edition of The Shot Podcast. We are here with Miles today. We just did a actor model digital shoot for him. Actor applies more than model, I think, in this case. So tell me what brought you out here today, Miles.
Man, I needed some new headshots. First off, thanks for having me. I didn't even know absolutely. I was coming into a podcast. But
well, I didn't know I was giving one. Yeah.
I've been acting since 2018. I moved out to Dallas to originally pursue it fully. I was signed to an agency out there. In 2022, I moved back here, and really since 2020, I had not pursued acting so much. After the pandemic. The format of auditioning went from going in the office to more
remote.
Yeah, exactly, self auditioning, and I feel like I dwell in the room,
Yeah.
But also, I just felt like me and my agent at the time weren't really seeing eye to eye as far as what roles I was going out for. Then I started making more money doing, being a server, and was just kind of got lost in the sauce. And then moved back here in 2022, like I said, and now I'm just kind of the re-up is back. I'm trying to get the new headshots. My hair's changed, so just really trying to get the ball rolling again. But this was just the first step.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah,
I imagine that was through the whole COVID thing. It was difficult doing remote auditions. Is that what they were having, or maybe you were sending in audition videos and things like that? And
exactly.
You just said it sounds like you feed off of being present in the room more than anything. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I have booked things from a self audition, just filming myself. But I mean,
it's difficult
yeah,
being a creator. And then you just mentioned, started just doing my regular job because it made more money, right?
Exactly.
And that's the challenge for, I think, all of us, even the folks out here, the engineers and everybody else out here. That's the hard part about this is what motivates you to stay with it. I mean, what made you want to say, you know what, I'm going to give this another try?
Well, I've always just been a jack of all trades, master of none. But just kind of spinning plates over here, spinning plates over here, and I'm trying to learn focusing on one thing more than the other. But
right.
I don't know, it's just a vicious cycle, I guess. But what keeps me going is just being a creative person, just being an artist by heart.
Yeah, you've got a brand, right? I was looking at your Instagram. We'll link that below.
I've been making street clothing for since I was 16. Just really a conceptual clothing brand. This is really something that I just started doing. I always was into fashion, into clothes, and I was like, you know what? I should just turn this into something that's my own. I always was into remaking certain stuff, reworking old fabric,
That's the big thing now.
Yeah, exactly.
Sustainable fashion. We were talking about that earlier.
Exactly. I didn't really want to make it into I just feel like everyone kind of does the same stuff. Hey, I thought of an idea, printed on a shirt, and
right.
DTG. That's my clothing brand. I kind of took more of a conceptual approach, first on. And the name is The Sleepers, and the whole concept was wake up, this is young Miles trying to waking up for the first time. So
right.
I just thought to name it The Sleepers, and then the woke movement came along, and it was it just kind of got that weird thing about it, that weird connotation connected to wokeness. So it kind of seems corny now, the name, but. I mean, it is what it is. It still is the journey of just waking up to what's really going on around you, and the clothing kind of expresses that. Just kind of like, just be you. Follow your own path, follow your own journey, in whatever way that is.
Are you still putting a lot of effort into that and a lot of time and effort?
A lot of custom stuff I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, most of the stuff I do is more custom stuff. As far as like right now, I got like this category, I guess you could call it, like the flare daddies.
Mm-hmm.
I just take like pants and I flare them out.
I saw those.
You probably like there's other brands that do it. I just kind of do it in my own way, and I just use like different textures for the actual like flaring out.
Yeah, it's different colors on the inside, a different fabric on the inside, right?
Yeah.
And you got some wild patterns and everything on the inside. I thought I was
Yeah,
looking at it.
yeah. It's fun.
What's that?
Runway plans? Any designer like runway plans?
Oh yeah, you plan on taking that maybe to runway? Any kind of
No plans right now. No plans.
It's all
just
about who you
having
know.
Fun. Yeah, just doing it. Just, I mean, people that take a liking to it, you know, mess with it, and that's. I haven't taken any like.
Yeah. Where do you get your clients from?
It's really word of mouth, really. Yeah,
word of mouth.
Word of mouth. People see it and they're like, how can I get those? Like, if I'm wearing it, they're like, where'd you get that? And I was like, I made it, and then
yeah, it's like
make a
it's
contact.
me, it's me.
yeah.
We need to get Greg on some cool stuff. We talked about that last podcast.
We need to what? We need to fashion me? Is that what you're saying? You don't like the same T-shirt that I wear for every single podcast and every photo shoot?
No, Greg got the actual like photographer fit. You know what I mean? Like, you got the just like.
I got to be able to comfortably move to get
the
these
vintage
shots.
Jeans, like that's
Right.
that's really what it is. You got the piece, and you got the Doc Martens, and then this plain shirt.
It's
like, that's
comfortable, right?
And I believe it. You know, I believe it.
Well,
like
you
it.
know, everybody say you wear the same shirt every time. I'm like, it's not. It's the same shirt, but it's not the same exact shirt.
Exactly,
Right.
yeah.
It's the same shirt, different color.
It's the same shirt, different colors, and some of them are
I'll-
a multiple of the same.
I'll leave the fashion to all you
It's
guys.
just like life.
Others,
Same
yeah.
shirt, different shirt.
Yeah, same
Right.
shirt, different day. Yep, exactly. So
It's comfort.
we just did some killer shots, and so
Shout
I
out
thought
to
they were.
Greg.
Yeah, I mean, you did good. You did great for not being, a model. He's got a model flow actually. You've done some pictures before, but it's been several years, right?
Yeah. It's been a while since I come to like a studio like this, and
Yeah. So we started off, the vibe was to do, digitals, and we did a real clean white background look, which is, some of the, some standing, some with the stool. And then I think when we really started getting into it, I said, let's just turn off those backlights and just do one moody light. And I think you were kind of vibing with that a little bit more.
True.
So had a little bit of help from my posing team over here. So that was pretty good.
Shout out to the gang.
Yeah. Appreciate it. So, do you have an agent here in town?
I do not. I am no longer with my former agency. I do not have an agent at the moment.
Looking?
Free agent.
Free
You're a
agent
free
on the
agent?
market. I'm just trying to get everything, like my headshots, my actors access, all my online presence back in order, and then I'll like have a little more leverage to go into the offices and.
Yeah, tell us about that process, though, for anybody that, I mean, you've done a little bit of it before, obviously, and you
Right.
said in Dallas, and you've worked with an agency before. For anybody that's trying to be an actor, and they don't know how to do it, they don't even know the first step. They're just sitting at home, they're like, I want to be an actor. What do they do?
So Actors Access, Casting Network, you gotta have one of those. You have to have professional headshots. You'll upload those to both of those sites. You really want to have those two, like definitely, and they are like you can have like a yearly account. You'll have a lot of like access to, like
That's
certain
good
like
to know. I didn't know
agency,
that.
yeah, like and IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
That's a definitely account you need to have as well. You can reach out to a lot of like high end like agencies and managers in the industry if you pay for the premium like membership on IMDb. So like having those things in order, and they all like have subscriptions, and you got to pay. And then photos. You got to pay for that. So just it's not like it's no like easy way or just not free to get in. It's you got to
Sometimes you gotta spend money.
pay a little
You gotta
bit.
get
Yeah,
yourself out there, right?
Exactly.
What about learning your craft?
That's really up to you. You know, a lot of people learn self-taught. A lot of people go to Juilliard in school. A lot of people just take local like acting classes. All is fair game. I actually I went to my parents told me about this thing. It doesn't even exist anymore. It's called Actors and Models and Talent for Christ. This is like 2015, 2014. I was like a teenager. It's so basically you do acting, you do an acting gig, you do singing, whatever that entails.
Right.
You do a modeling portion, and then we also learn about Christ. And then once you do all your training for all of these things, there's a showcase at the end of the year in Orlando, and I did this twice, like I think 2 years removed, but did this on 2 different occasions. The first time didn't get any callbacks. So the showcase basically is all these talent agencies come and watch you do all your things that you've been training for, and then if you're good, they'll give you a call back. If you're not, obviously don't. Second time, I got like 10 callbacks. Obviously, I felt more comfortable, did better. From there, I met my agent that I recently had, which I went with. But I was entertaining agencies in LA and in Atlanta. I ended up going to Dallas, signed with that agency in Dallas. Would go on to do a film. I did like an episodic thing, and I did a couple of commercials. Them commercials are lucrative. The commercials are definitely more lucrative than the films because a lot of the films are like indie, small, small budget films.
How do you get paid for that? Like it sounds probably indie films. You get your money when you show up, and
indie
with
films,
commercials. Is it more like residual pay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The films are a little more like, when do I get paid?
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, all right, well, but the experience of the films for me was creatively was more valuable as an actor.
Right.
The indie film was just more meat.
What film was that?
More nutrition.
So we're gonna get on IMDb and
it's called
and look you up.
Jewels of Light and Dark. Jewels of Light and Dark.
All right.
Yeah.
She's already back there looking it up.
It's a slow burner. It's a slow burn. It's like if you like drama, if you just like if you can like stick it out, you know what I mean? I'm trying to compare it to like a film, like like good writing, when you're talking about something and you just got to follow the storyline.
Right.
It's not like a whole lot of action, but
yeah, she's more into the slow burn stuff. I'm more into that. I gotta have that immediate gratification. Something's got to explode within the first 5-10 minutes.
It's not that.
If it doesn't, I'm like, I don't know.
But yeah,
find something else to watch.
That was really a cool experience because you get to see like how long films take. You know what I mean? Like we started shooting that in 2016, and
still working on it.
Right. Like
I go back today actually.
2 years later, we went back and like reshot stuff.
Dang.
Yeah, and I was like, 2 years.
You got to go back for continuity's sake, right?
Exactly.
You got to have your hair the same, and
exactly. Yeah, I couldn't change my hairstyle, but yeah, that was a cool experience. But the commercials and stuff, the commercials like one day at work, and then you're just getting checks.
How long do those? Just as long as the commercials?
As long as they're on the TV, you're getting checks. As long as you're on TV, yeah. Good to know. Especially if they like, if your commercial like previews on, like during the Super Bowl or like All-Star Weekend or big, high.
Prime time.
Exactly, prime time, high volume.
Is it like direct deposit
TV.
into your account now, or are you just like, oh crap, I moved. I hope
I'm a
they have
direct
my new
deposit man,
address.
for sure. I stand on that.
Yeah, not
Direct
waiting,
deposit.
like wondering if it's going to be in the mailbox or
They still do send the checks, for tax purposes. They still send them.
Yeah.
But I just
where on your journey of being an actor, where would you say, you know, and this is for other people that maybe aspire to be an actor, that you kind of went left when you should have gone right or straight, took a wrong turn? You know, lesson learned maybe.
So when I first got signed, I was still living in San Antonio. This was in 2015. I didn't have the means to move out of my parents' house, but my ex-girlfriend at the time lived there. So anyways, so long story short, I would drive all the way to Dallas for every audition. I set a plan out. Plan, just like this earlier. Plan was, okay, this is getting a little, you know, expensive moving out here. I got to find a way to just like be in Dallas for a little bit and just like figure this out. So long story short, I ended up staying with my ex for like 6 months. I was like, look, 6 months, give me 6 months. I'll pay for the groceries, you know what I mean? She let me or whatever. And I lived there, and I went on I said I'll go on every audition. I don't care what it's for. Like, I'm just going to go on every single audition and just learn and just like whatever, right? Go to every single audition. I get 0 callbacks for 6 months. December, it's about to be 2016, so December of 2015, I'm getting like ready to move back. I'm like moving stuff back and forth from Dallas to San Antonio.
What are you doing that whole time when you're not going to auditions?
Little odd jobs.
Yeah.
I was cleaning houses. I was just trying to, you know, like give her something for letting me stay.
Right. Yeah.
And then, but yeah, like just mind just on like acting, like trying to figure out, you know, like just updating headshots, just looking up different stuff of like hitting up different talent agencies and stuff, and just trying to, and then December is coming. It's like, all right, well, 6 months is up. I gotta go back to base camp, so I'm moving back. So I get a audition for a Mountain Dew. Like, this is like right after Christmas. This is somewhere in December, right? It's for Mountain Dew. I was like, well, I just moved back. I just got like back to San Antonio. I'm like,
as soon as you left, you got a call.
This is that moment though. This is that moment where you like left or right. Like I had a plan. You know what I mean? The 6 months not over yet, so I'm like, I don't even want to go back. Like, just 6 months. I didn't even get any callbacks. I'm not gonna get this one. I go back. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it. Go back, do the audition. It went good. But, you know, a lot of them went good, but I still didn't get a call back. But so like a week passes, I get a call back, and I'm like, I got it, right? I got it. I'm in there, right? So I gotta go, but for the callback, I gotta go all the way back to Dallas. So I go all the way back to Dallas. This is basically a callback. They just want you to do the audition all over again in front of the actual like casting director. Right. So I get there, I'm like,
that's like phase 2.
This phase
like
2.
When you go to the doctor and you're in the outside waiting room, right? And then you wait for an hour, and then they call you back, and then you're like in the inside waiting room.
They're just
like,
so what's wrong?
The doctor,
like poking you. Yeah.
You're like, well, what's wrong is I've been here for 3 hours. That's what's wrong.
We're at that part, right? But I'm thinking like I got a call back, like I won, right? So like, I get there, there's like just as many people as was at the audition as at the callback. I'm like, oh my God, like oh man, like I gotta do this all over again. Like so I do it again, and I'm like, I gotta go back to San Antonio.
You're thinking they would have at least whittled it down to like,
you know what I mean?
5 people, the top 5, and you're like, it's all the same. There's still 500 people here.
Still 500 people.
What happened next?
Yeah, so like I'm like, man, whatever. Like we gonna trust God, and I did that. I go back to San Antonio. I'm like, well, let's job search. And then a week like later, they're like, hey, wardrobe, you got a meeting with wardrobe. So like that's like that. Once you get a meeting for wardrobe, that's like, okay, now they're seriously considering you because they're fitting you. So you probably got it, but they're not saying you got it yet, but you probably got it because they're putting clothes on you. So I'm like, okay, and I have it yet? Like I get there, drive all the way back to Dallas, and I'm like, all right, this got to be like a sign from God, like, you know what I mean? Like, because long story short, I get it. I got the Mountain Dew commercial. It airs like it's like Russell Westbrook's in it, Julius Randle's in it. What's my boy from the Miami Heat? Always got the crazy hair. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was in it. Like it was lit. But it was like a long night, really cold night of shooting. And then that aired during like the All-Star game, and
good
life
money.
was lovely.
Yeah.
Life was lovely for
But
like a
see,
year.
you almost were just like, forget about it. I'm not going to go back.
But I so easily could have just not went to that audition, and then we wouldn't be talking about nothing right now.
So so perseverance, right? You gotta like every time they call you back, you gotta go, right?
You got to, but you got to make that decision though. You know what I mean? You got to make that decision.
400 miles.
That's what 200. That's 265 miles on the dash. I added it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you?
Every time.
Last question for you. How do you know if you're any good? Because you know what I mean. You can go through. I mean, I've heard stories of famous actors that they persevered for years. They didn't get anything. And now they're huge. You know. How do you know when if like you don't get you go on those 10 auditions and you get no callbacks for 6 months? Are you saying, well, maybe I'm not any good? Maybe that's why they're not calling me back. Or what's your mindset? How do you stay focused?
That's a good question.
To keep going, you know.
Right.
And then maybe are you asking yourself during that time, maybe I suck, you know?
Of course.
Maybe that's why they're not calling me back. And you know, how do you keep going?
It's like this. Like you got to take the good with the bad, right? Like I feel like I do suck, but I'm good though. I'm good enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not the best, but like I can do it. That's really how I feel every time I go on audition. And also, like, you got to have some wits about yourself to where you know, like, you're just you. Like, you're the only different thing in here.
Right.
From everybody else going in, like, that might have killed it or that role looks perfect for them. Like, you're seeing them go in and it's like, oh, they look perfect for that. Or you'll see them do the audition like, that was really good.
Right.
What am I going to do? And then you just got to, like, that's, like, once it's like, all right, action.
But that's what you got to remember. You're an individual. There's no other person on this planet that is exactly like you, right? And maybe, you know, once you hit that right audition, they'll see that.
You got to know that.
Right.
You got to know that.
Right.
That's got to be enough for you to,
right.
You know what I mean? Keep that in the back of your mind. But I got to shout out Glenn Morshower. He was my acting coach in Dallas. He was just a great coach. You talk about, like, how do you know you're great or how do you know if you're any good? Mm-hmm. It's like who you're surrounding yourself with and, like, who are those people that you're, like, trying to get better with? You know what I mean?
Right.
And you kind of listen to them, like, hey, like, you're really good. Like, no, I thought you were really good. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like having those peers around you and people that believe in you.
Best thing you can do is hang out with people that have either you think or have more experience or better than you, and because they'll rub off on you, right?
Established actor, by the way. He's a regular. He would bring in checks sometimes and just show us like this is like just a check I did in 1993, like, and I'm still getting paid for this. So like this is just off of one thing I did. So like this is. You can do that.
Getting paid
you know
in
what I mean?
Perpetuity, right?
Yeah, this was like, but it just puts stuff in, and he's teaching us, like, and he's telling us, like, that was good.
Yep.
Like, you're natural, and so it's really just getting around, like minds, and
all right,
keeping that in perspective.
All right. Any last words before we go? What are you doing next when you leave here? You're waiting for me to deliver the photos, and
I'm gonna go see my nephews. I'm gonna go see my brother. My grandpa's not doing too well, so a lot of family stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of actors,
that,
got all this other stuff going on. So
well, there's life.
It's life
still happening around
not
us.
Actors, everybody, like just regular people, regular stuff. So I'm just gonna do a whole bunch of regular stuff.
Okay. All right.
What are some of the you do the designing, acting,
Mm-hmm.
songwriting?
Yep.
Designing, acting, songwriting is what she was saying.
I do songwriting as well. I do.
What's your instrument? Do you have an instrument that you said earlier you played trumpet?
No, I played trumpet when I was in middle school. I don't play trumpet anymore.
Okay.
I wish I could say I played an instrument, but the only instrument I use is these vocal cords.
Okay.
I do my best at singing.
Mm-hmm.
I really like writing rhymes.
Okay.
But yeah, I kind of do that. I have stuff on Apple Music under Trill Miles. I have, stuff on SoundCloud. SoundCloud probably has my most recent stuff because I couldn't put it on Apple Music due to some copyright stuff. But yeah, just singing more, working on that, working on my vocals, and I always will be a songwriter. I feel like I just write music for fun. The music industry right now is really weird. With AI and everything, and so I'm just gonna keep writing music and putting it out.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Okay. I work with a lot of artists lately. Actually, a lot of artists that come on here. I've had just recently 2 artists that have been on the podcast.
Okay.
So they're just talking about getting their stuff, trying to get their stuff seen out on Spotify. It's like you're a needle in a stack of needles out there, really. I mean, it's just so hard to just get noticed in this day and age. So
I got a question for you, Greg.
All right, shoot.
So what's one thing in life you feel like was the best decision you made and you would have told your younger self to do that earlier?
Oh, man, that is well, my wife is sitting out here pointing to herself. Well, we were talking about that last night. You have to, when you decide that you're going to spend a significant amount of your life with one person, whether it be your wife or your significant other, make sure that person makes you better than who you are now, or at least tries to encourage you to be better. We were talking about that last night. Like I would, there's things that we have and possessions and where we've made, we're living in a house, right? And that's not a given, and that's a nice thing to do. But like, had I not, she pushed me into trying to, I'd still be in a 1-bedroom apartment. Let's put it that way. If she wasn't there motivating me to actually do better in my career, which is actually not photography. I have another career besides that, but in my career, I could be rather complacent sometimes, and so you need those people that will push you to be better than yourself. So align yourself. Make sure that when you do decide to be with one person for a lengthy amount of time, align yourself with someone that makes you better. That would be my best advice for anyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Stay true and forever real.
All right. Thanks for watching The Shot. We're with Miles, and my engineer just won't let me go.
I got one question for you.
My engineer's
Do you
going. Go
have
ahead.
any superpower in the world?
It's the superpower question.
Yes.
Oh, I'm a
What would you
fly.
have?
I'm a fly.
You'd be a fly.
I'm a fly.
Fly on the wall.
Or
No, I'm a
Just
no,
a fly.
I'm a fly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like not an insect.
Like you want to be able to
Those
fly.
can fly too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I
Well,
want to
that-
soar the
we-
skies.
Yeah. Okay.
I've
Because
been
we had
watching
somebody.
Invincible lately. A really good anime, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a really, he didn't get a superpower until he was like a teenager, and he can fly like out of the world. Like I would do that.
Yeah. Fly. I've had a couple people say fly.
It's the adventurer in me, I guess.
Right. And we talked about reincarnation too. If you're going to be reincarnated, what would you want to be? If you can be human.
What would you say?
Geez, I don't know. It's a tough world out there when you're an animal, man. It's eat or be eaten. So I'm going with probably like a lion or the lioness. Those are the ones that are.
You say you can't choose human?
Can't be a human. Like if you're reincarnated, you got to be something else. So I'd rather be
Is that
like
the rule
up
of
there,
reincarnation?
kind of at the top of the food chain. No, you'd come back. People say they have past lives.
Right.
Like she says that she's had past lives, and she actually dreams about them, who she was in past lives. But yeah,
That's deep.
interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do
Dig
believe
into
in
that.
reincarnation. I believe that you get. The way I believe is when you get reincarnated is because you haven't done what you were supposed to do. on this earth.
She said
And so you.
she believes when you're reincarnated, it's because you haven't done what you were supposed to do. You haven't fulfilled your mission.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? You didn't fulfill what you were supposed to do.
Have missions.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you don't fulfill that, you get reincarnated until you fulfill that mission.
Man, what is your mission? I don't know what my mission is.
And I don't know that we know. I don't think that anybody knows what their mission
Ooh.
is. Only the
That's a good question.
knows what our mission
Right.
is.
You know, because a lot of people
like
I tend to go where the wind blows me, kind of, you know. I'm sort of reserved and kind of laid back, and I wait and I look around and I see where things are going to take me, and then I'll kind of pick my destination, right? So I kind of go where the wind blows, but I don't know what my mission is necessarily. Any clue? You got a mission?
I kind of feel like I agree.
I got no mission.
with
You
your
got a
wife.
mission?
I mean, my mission is just to be me. Like,
Yeah.
And then I feel like God will guide me. I just trust His plan for me.
Good
I don't
answer, good
necessarily
answer.
know where that is. I just know I'll be happy.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking, we were watching a show the other night, and I was thinking, well, one mission is to stay out of prison. Yeah, I definitely don't want to go there.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Nah,
So
yeah.
that's one mission, you know, but yeah.
But yeah, I don't necessarily think that your mission has to be great or huge. It can
Right.
be something so small that you don't know. It may be insignificant to you, but
Right.
it may make, wonders for somebody else.
Yeah, you could be pushing someone in the right
Act of
direction.
kindness,
Yeah.
Opening the door for somebody else could make that person's day and change their whole rest of the day
Right.
Yeah.
or the whole rest of the week.
You're just
You never
saying,
know.
see, you're not on the microphone, so I don't know how well we can hear you, but you're just saying, basically brightening someone's day, opening their door. You never know what you could do what action that you're taking is going to influence someone else's life, right?
Right.
So don't be mean to people. you know.
Like demons are hiding.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So we went off on a tangent.
I love
thanks to my
tangents.
engineer, but yeah, it was an interesting conversation. All right. So Miles,
Thank you, Greg.
enjoyed talking to you. I
You
had a
as well.
great shoot.
Have
Yeah.
me back.
All right.
I'll
I definitely will. Definitely will. So I appreciate you. Like, this was totally unplanned. So I'm glad I got to know you better, got to learn a
Yeah.
little bit more about you, and you got to learn something about
y'all
me
as
too.
well.
So yeah, we had a good time. So thanks for watching the shot. If you're still hanging in there watching, we appreciate it. This is Miles. We'll link his information below, maybe even his IMDb account. We'll see, and you can go look him up. All right. Thanks for watching. All right. I hope we got all that.
cool. That was legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Still
it was
recording.
not as long as it
No.
felt. I will say
Like
that.
32 minutes.
That was dope.
That was good. Thanks,
I've only done like another part, like one other one, but sound and everything.